Foot on the gas, just getting started. Let's get it started. Pave the way, roads uncharted. No problem, we ain't solving. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it started. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it started. Come play with the big boys. Ain't no rest, we make noise. Love it when you see it so good that you can't avoid. Pedal to the metal, we going far. Going far. Foot on the gas, just getting started. Let's get it started. Pave the way, roads uncharted. Let's get it. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it. Let's get it started.
Good morning again, everyone, and welcome on this beautiful morning, Saturday morning. Welcome to our very first InspireHer Confidence Summit. Time efficiency, I love it. Okay, so we are going to bring our next amazing speaker to the stage. I'd like to introduce Meg Roundell Greene. She is a seasoned, got to keep y'all engaged all day. So Meg is a seasoned sales and marketing leader. She's the visionary founder of MRG Coaching, a business dedicated to empowering entrepreneurs to achieve steady, everybody say steady. Steady. We want that steady revenue and monumental goals without succumbing to stress. We all need that. With a passion for fostering balance, joy, and a fulfilling life alongside business success, Meg draws on her extensive 20-year corporate career. Woo! We would have never, I would have scratched that out if I were you, but 20-year corporate career. Her background includes leadership and negotiation roles in central revenue spend agreements for advertising with key global clients in finance, automotive, and FMCG. You'll tell us what that means. Okay. At both LinkedIn and Time Inc. Media. So without further ado, let me introduce to the stage the phenomenal Meg Roundell Greene.
Ooh, thank you. Wow, that was impressive. I better do something good then. So nice to be here. So today, this way, thank you. I'm gonna put this here. I don't have slides. I'm just gonna teach you how to sell better. That's what I do. My background is sales and marketing. I didn't go to uni. I went for 2 terms and I went, no thanks. And I left. And my mum was really mad. She thought I would end up doing something beneath me, I think is what she thought. And instead, I started working, and I made money, and I just sidestepped the whole thing. So, what I do today is I help business people and founders sell more, but without the stress, without the, how many things do I need to cram into my diary every single day? Having a business is a bunch of things. It's not one thing, it's about 1,700 every single day. And Aurora really described that perfectly. Like, we have families, we have lives, we have businesses, we're women. We have a stack of things on top of us. It's not just a business. So my goal and my mission is to help women particularly make more money, have more fun doing it, and have more money. Let's just get more intimate with money. Let's have fun with more money. Let's be financially free. So that's my jam. That's what I love to do. And today I really want to share with you the things that I see stop people selling. So the wonderful story from Sean, thank you, about the sales experience. Is sales a dirty word? It's not a 4-letter word. Sometimes we think, especially as women, that there is something wrong with saying you're good at something. because you're not taught to do this. Selling something well, it requires you to stand up, literally to stand up, raise your hand up and say, I'm amazing. This thing's amazing. Come and buy this thing. When are we ever taught to do this as women? I wasn't. I wasn't at school being told to say I'm good at stuff. It was do the thing, take the notes, put your hand up, be quiet, be good. Don't say stuff that you're not supposed to say. Be a good girl. Oh my God, can we just call I'm not going to swear. I'm just calling it out so that we can understand that to sell something well, you have to have so much passion and courage and boldness, men and women. It's not just women, but we have more work to do to sell well. So when we're selling anything, especially small businesses, we have our own services, we're delivering it, so it's very personal. It's not like selling a car. It's selling you. People are buying into you. So that's even worse. I was in sales in LinkedIn for 5 years. That was easy for me because it wasn't selling me. I was like, LinkedIn's great. Go advertise on LinkedIn. Easy. But then I started my business and I was like, oh, okay. I did not expect this. Because when you charge people money and they require a service and they want results, you better deliver. You better deliver. So the fear factor is really real. So the first thing I want to share with you is being bold is a choice. But what creates boldness in your sales? You have to know that you're good. You have to believe you're good. You have to actually walk the walk. Not just do it for the sake of it, not just sell for the sake of it to make money. That's never a thing that generates money, strangely. You have to be so good and so committed and so passionate that you can't help but tell people. So I help people all the time with this, and they're like, how do I make more sales? How do I make more money? What's the tactics? What's the strategy? What's the process? I'm like, you're looking at it the wrong way round. Because when you really care about helping and you know you help, you don't have to sell anything. You are literally, it's an urge, it's like an impulse that you have to go tell people. But when you're starting, you don't have any of that. You have fear, you have doubt, you have uncertainty, you have your parents saying, go get a real job. I'm like, no, I'll keep doing this. Are you making any money? I will. So you have to just cut out the noise. Just say, thank you very much for the advice, but I'm going to carry on this path. It will come, it's coming. And you have to cultivate that certainty before you see results, which is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Okay, so certainty first, results second. It doesn't come the other way around. People say to me, oh, when I've made this much money, then I'll know I've made it. Then I'll know I'm good. I'm like, no, you have to know you're good and then take the action. Then the results happen. It's the other way around, but people don't understand that. So they try and they try and they try, and it's painful. It's so hard. It's like an uphill struggle. You've got to cultivate certainty first. So I've got 3 things that I want to share with you. Thoughts that help me, thoughts that help my clients to really cultivate certainty, because there's stuff going on in the world today. We can all agree there's always stuff in the world. You look outside, there's presidents, there's prime ministers, they change every 5 minutes, apparently. I don't know who's going to do what next. Who knows? The wider economy, that's a thing. But it doesn't have to be. It really doesn't have to be when you're in your certainty of 1 or 20, depending on how big your business is, or even if you don't have a business. You're still in sales. You're selling yourself, your vision. You're still exchanging value in the world. So the 3 there are three things that I really want to talk about, and we're going to workshop a little bit. So if you have a paper and a pen, that would be great. So can you give me an experience of when you had a sales call? Or maybe you were on a sales call, you were like being sold to. I want you to think back to that experience and think, what was the predominant thought or feeling you had? So just think back in your mind. Maybe you were selling to a customer, maybe it was a negotiation with a boss, maybe it was a pay rise. Any experience, what was the main thing when you thought, I need to have a sales experience? What was the feeling that you had? Can you write that down for a second? I'm going to give you a moment. Just the main thought or the main feeling that you kind of had in that moment. You got one? Okay, so to help you with some examples of my own experience, it could be something like, they don't want it. What if I'm not as good as I think I am? What if something happens and it goes wrong? What if I can't deliver? Any of that stuff can come up for you when you're selling. So I really want to help you understand this cycle of certainty. When we have these thoughts and feelings about anything, doesn't matter if it's sales or business, you're in charge of your thoughts and your feelings. You're not in charge of the other person. They could do anything. They could hang up the phone. They could walk out the door and leave. We're never in charge of other people and their emotions. We're only in charge of ourselves. So think about a thought you've had about selling, and I want you to just remember that feeling. Remember that emotion. Was it doubt? Was it like, oh, I sometimes get this like almost like a sick feeling. Anyone get that? The kind of nervousness. Oh, I've got to say something awkward. You fear rejection. You fear being weird. I don't know. I just get this anxiety sometimes. So what is that feeling? And what do you do when you feel like that? You do strange stuff on a sales call. That's what. You say things that you're like, where did that come from? Or you think of a price and then you discount it by 50%. Have you ever done that? My clients do this all the time. They're like, my new price, and then it comes out their mouth and it's the old price. Or it's free. Literally, or it's free. Oh, all the time. So that's what happens when your mind is circling in this like doubt or frustration or anxiety. It's all emotionally driven. But you're in charge of your emotions. They're not coming from outside, just like landing on your head like rain. They're coming from your thoughts. So when you understand that your thinking drives feelings, and then the feelings drive how you show up, literally what people get from you, the energy that people receive off of you, and how well it comes across, you're in charge always. So my top tip is I'm going to give you some thoughts now that you can borrow. Come up with some of your own as well, but thoughts that help me and help my clients to sell boldly and confidently and very clearly is they want this. My clients need this today. I deliver value. My clients always get what they need and more. That's a great one. I over-deliver. That's a really good one. Or simply, I can help this person. The thought, I can deliver value, I can help this person today, roots you in something that's so different from, I need a sale. You ever had that experience of thinking, I need money, I need a sale, I better have a sales call, and they better say yes. As soon as you go to that place, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You may be very skilled, you may be able to persuade, but you're never going to be able to grow a business and thrive, especially when the economy is uncertain, if you only care about the sale. Because people can tell a mile away. They can just see, they can see it. You could say the same words, you could do the same exact things, but the energy is 100%. It's like night and day. So you always have to come back to value. What's the value they want? How am I going to give it to them? And how can I explain that in such a clear way that they do something. It's not good enough to have a sales conversation. This is what happens with my clients. They have a conversation, the person's like, yeah, that sounds great. Will you send me an email? And they say, sure. I'll send you the email. I'll send the price on an email. No, I want to shake them. Like, no. Selling well is just showing someone what they can have and like engaging them enough in the outcome that they take an action. That's it. Action is really key. Emotional engagement, driving, and action. The action is not send an email. Because you send an email, what happens? They don't reply. And then you're like, oh, I better follow up on the email. And then you wait a couple of days. What happened? No. It's the moment, exactly as we were talking about, the moment is now. The moment to change stuff is always now. So you have someone who wants something, why don't you give it to them? I tell my clients all the time, I'm like, stop being selfish. And they get cross with me, and I'm like, no, you need to show them the result and then help them take the action because they're scared. They don't believe in themselves. They may not believe in the process. They may fear losing the money. They may fear loss of face. They may fear all kinds of things. But your job is always to serve in that moment. Don't let them go away for 2 weeks and think about it because no one is ever ready. So readiness is not a thing. It's a thought. It's literally a thought. You had people say to you, oh, it's not the right time. Can anyone tell me when the right time is for stuff? Because I'd really like to know. It's always now. If it's a hard time for you because of other things, what better time to do it than now? So, thinking about the first one, being bold, I think we got that. Does that make sense? You got the thoughts about what can help you serve and show up. The second one I want to talk about is confidence in your service. So the confidence in what you're actually delivering. This is really important. And Belinda touched on this earlier. It's like, don't be good. Everyone's good. There's like thousands of people doing what you do well, good enough to make businesses and to grow their businesses and to thrive. When you're exceptionally dedicated to your clients and their experience, you are great because you put in the time, you think, you spend time developing yourself, you're rooted in certainty. It's not good enough just to be good. It's not. You can grow a business, you can grow a nice business, you can have a good time, but especially when people are scared and feeling different pressures, you've got to be great. But not just be great, you've got to recognize that you already are. We just diminish ourselves so much. I listened to the bio that you introduced, and I was like, have I done that? But we do this all the time because we're not used to upping ourselves and like being very bold and being very, because we're, especially the English. But you have to remember all that you've done. Your clients, you can just do one of those things and deliver exceptional value to your clients. It's never about you, it's always about them. So when you really care about them and the value that they're going to get, you can lean back almost. You don't have to be in their face. You don't have to persuade people or convince people of things. You can just be very certain in your value and then very confident telling people about it. You've got to remove any of the shame. You've got to remove any of the judgment. People are going to judge. People are going to judge all day long, and that's fine. They're allowed to. If they're not paying you, do you have to care? Not at all. So they're going to be busy judging, and you can be busy staying in your lane, providing value to the people that want it, and being very bold and very confident. I always say this to my clients, you have to be, what was the word? It's like fierceness. You have to be fierce. There's people doing things that you do, and They're not half as smart as you, by the way. There are people making tons of money who are less qualified, less smart, less connected. And do you know why? Because they're bold, confident, and clear. And they say it over and over and over and over again. And they're visible. That's what happens. You might look around in your industry and be like, what are they doing? I'm better than them. I've got a degree. They didn't do this thing. I'm amazing. You just didn't say it enough times. And clearly enough to enough people. It's literally the thing. So it's not complicated. It's not you have to learn a bunch of different things to sell well. You have to be bold, confident, and clear. You have to say it again and again until you're sure people are bored of you. Until you're bored of yourself. I promise you. Because when you think they've heard it too many times, they haven't heard it enough. Because they need it. And you've got it. So you have to say it again and again. And the louder you get and the clearer you get to the more people you help. So you have to remove yourself from the process. You have to be the smallest part of the process for the message to get to the biggest number of people. Because they don't really mind what you do. They care about their problem and how you help them solve it. So you have to remove the ego. You have to not worry about the judgment. And you have to serve first. Always serving first. Okay, so the third one that I wanted to talk about is, are you clear? So clarity in selling is about how you take someone from the journey. So they may have just met you. They may have this problem. They've been worrying about this problem for a year, maybe a month, maybe 5 years, 10 years, who knows? But they find you somehow through some miracle of the internet. They go on the Instagrams or something and they're like, oh, that's my problem. I need to speak to this person. I need to know more. Clarity of who you're speaking to and the problem you solve is so important. Doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter where your experiences are, your professional qualifications, they don't care. I promise you this much. They do not care if you've gotten 17 letters after your name or none. The one thing in their mind is like, does this person solve my problem? Will it be fast? Will it be painful? Will it be doable? Can I afford it? Is it going to cost me everything? Is it going to work? They don't care about any of the stuff. So whilst we're over in our own entrepreneurial bubble, worrying about, I don't know, the things that we worry about, your clients are looking for a solution, and they don't care about any of that stuff. They literally don't care. So clarity of who you help and how is everything. So just know who your person is. Do you know what they need? Did you ask them? Best way of understanding your customer is ask them. What do you need right now? How can I help you the most right now? Like the story of the Lexus guy. He gave the directions. And you're like, okay, you helped me. It's like, what do they need right now? And just give it to them. It sounds super simple, and it is really simple. We overcomplicate so much. It's like, what do they need? Tell them that you're there. You've got to tell them. They're not going to find you by accident. They're not going to find you by a magical miracle. They're not going to drift over and click a link if you don't tell them to. Doesn't happen. So you've got to know who they are. You've got to be there. Then you've got to give them something to do. I think there is this misconception that if you're really, really good, people will just naturally find you. Not in my experience. You have to tell them exactly where to go, why to go there, and why to do it right now, this very second. Those 3 things. The next step, you've got to tell people. They're not going to magically know. They won't search you out. They're cooking dinner. They've got kids. They've got other things. They're watching Netflix. You're competing with not just your competition, you're competing with their life. So if you're not visible and if you're not there every step of the journey, you lost them. Someone else will help them, and that's fine. but it's not going to be your business, and that person may not care as much. So I always like to bring it back to just know who they are, tell them what to do so clearly and so obviously that you think that you're being rude and aggressive, especially as women, especially as English women, my English ladies who've been brought up to be very quiet. Tell them what to do in such simple terms over and over again that people think you're bossy. Can we just remove that word from describing women, please? Be bold, be fearless, be uncompromising in helping your people. It's the only way, and I know that there's doubt and fear. It's just going to come along for the ride. You have to let it. I'm fearful every day. I do stuff every day that makes me like sick making. You just let it along. It's fine. So that's what I have for you today. If you would like to follow me, if you would like to talk to me about selling, I would love to help you. It's my mission to just help more people do this. So thank you so, so much. This has been super fun. Thank you.
That was awesome. I love that. So yes, I used to think sales was a dirty word. I didn't like it at all. But I appreciate, Meg, you telling us and training us on how to be bold, be confident, and be clear. Let's give her another round of applause.